Okay, this is actually a lot like ones we've seen before, but it looks a little bit different. We've got two different kinds of square roots going on, and the answer maybe looks slightly surprising because it doesn't mention either of them. Okay, but the method for this is the same method we used for simplifying fractions before. We multiply the given fraction by something with the same on the top or the bottom. We're going to need to put these in brackets. What bracket would I like to multiply on the bottom? Well, to simplify, I'd like a copy of the same bracket, but with a sign swap. And of course I have to multiply by the same bracket on the top. So we go to grids. Starting on the top, I don't expect this to simplify a lot. Root 3 times itself is 3. So this is 2 times 3, so I'm going to have 6 here. Root 3 times root 2's are going to give me root 6's. So I've dealt with the square roots. 2 times 3 is plus 6. So I'm going to have 6 times the square root of 6 here. Down here, this is simple. The square root of 2 times the square root of 3 is just the square root of 6. And then in this corner, the square root of 2 times itself, root 2 times root 2 is just 2. And I've got plus 1 times plus 3. I've got 3 times 2. So I'm going to have 6 down here. So combining everything, the numbers combine to give me 12. And the square roots, I've got 6 root 6 plus 1 more root 6. I've got 12 plus 7 root 6 on the top. On the bottom, I've got, I hope to get simplification, I've got root 3's times themselves. Root 3 times itself is 3, but I've got 2 times 2, so I've got 4 times 3 here. In the bottom, I've got a plus times a minus, so this is bottom right I'm talking about. Plus root 2 times minus 2 is negative, and root 2 times itself is 2. And these two I expect to cancel. I'm going to write them out. I'm going to have 2 root 3 times minus root 2 gives me minus 2 root 3 root 2. And this will give me 2 root 3 times root 2. This is root 6, this is root 6, but I don't care. These cancel anyway. So on the bottom I'm going to get 4 times 3, which is 12, minus 2. So 12 minus 2 is 10. So I've got, this is my answer, but I want to write it in the form p plus q root 6, where p and q are rational numbers. So I've got a bit more to do. I've got to split this into 2. Now if I've got a fraction with just a single number on the bottom, I'm just dividing everything by 10. So the first stage takes me to 12 over 10 plus 7 root 6 over 10. So my p is going to be 12 over 10. Now I can see that simplifies to, I can divide top and bottom by 2, so that's 6 over 5. So my p term's all right. For the q term, I need to write this as a fraction times root 6. So that's not a minus sign. I'm going to fill in top and bottom of a fraction. Now it may be obvious to you what's going on here. But if it's not, then it's because we're using multiplication of fractions. So what I've got is 7 root 6 over 10, and I'm separating that out into a fraction times root 6, which is root 6 over 1. So what do I need this fraction to be to end up as 7 root 6 over 10? Well, I need 7 times root 6 on the top, and I need 10 times 1 on the bottom. So it turns out that 7 root 6 over 10 is the same as 7/10 root 6. And this is something we're going to have to do quite a bit later in the course. So get used to the fact that if you've got a fraction with a term combined in the top, you can actually separate that out at the end and use these numbers as a fraction you need, and this is the reason why. So I've got 6 over 5 plus 7/10 root 6, so I could say that p equals 6 over 5 and q equals 7 over 10. Rational numbers p and q, and I'm done.